And welcome to day 16 of the Atlantic Hurricane season, day 34 in the Eastern Pacific. But as you can see, all those areas at the moment are very quiet on the map, the overview map at the moment. Where all the action is going on at the moment is the Western Pacific region, where we have 2 invests, and we also at one point we had 4 areas of interest. But that has since fallen to 2, with just the 2 active invests, 99W and 91W. You had 90W, which was out in the wide open Pacific earlier today, but that was declassified not too long ago, just an hour or 2 before this narration. But we still have 91W and 99W, 99 which formed in the South China Sea and is now probably coming towards its end as it approaches the Vietnamese coast, and we also have 91W, which may be one to watch over the next few days for development as it heads towards the north-northwest. In the Atlantic Ocean, you can see here it's very quiet still, not too much going on in terms of tropical weather, not too much going on down in the tropical regions at all for the Atlantic. And in the Indian Ocean here, still very similar story, very quiet around these parts as well. Not too much going on in terms of tropical development, in terms of anything forming in the next few days. However, that is somewhat expected in the Indian Ocean because it is coming into a quieter time of the year. Sea surface temperatures in the Eastern Pacific, you can see still warming up fairly nicely. 30-degree waters quite abundant now off the Mexican coastline. In the Gulf of Mexico and in the Caribbean, waters above 28 degrees Celsius, very commonly here as well. And we also have the South China Sea in particular, which is still very warm, and the sea off the Philippines, the northern Philippines in particular, which are 30 degrees or above. So let's take a look at the tracking map for at the moment for the Western Pacific. You can see all the action that's going on at the moment. So first of all, there's Invest 99, which is in the South China Sea and very close to land, very close in proximity to land, and that means that intensification development is very unlikely at this stage, especially since the computer models have now veered away from it, staying out to sea for a little bit while longer yet, and now anticipate it to move inland near the Chinese-Vietnamese border and then obviously dissipate very quickly, 20 miles per hour at the moment. We also have Invest 91W, which is just off to the east of the Philippine Islands, the Visayas region, near the Mindanao region as well. 20 miles per hour at the moment, 1006 millibars, and that has a fair chance of development over the next 48 hours, and the models do develop it at least to possibly a tropical storm level, and maybe even beyond that as it enters favourable conditions, and then perhaps in the 4 to 5 day period, perhaps affecting Japan or Korea, South Korea towards the end of that process there. So let's take a look at all 4 systems. They're clearly visible on satellite imagery. Let's go through them one by one. Yagi at the very top, what's left of it. 99W going off to the left, near China. 90W, which is declassified now, off to the right, not much left of that one either. And 91W, which is quite a large system, quite a broad system that could develop over the next few days. So the remnants of Yagi is causing a bit of havoc in Japan at the moment. Flood warnings in effect, flood advisories and rainfall advisories as well for all the prefectures listed there. Not enough time to go through them myself. But this is likely to continue for around a day or 2 whilst the storm, what's left of the storm, moves towards the northeast. So let's take a look at the model ones then. First the CMC, actually showing perhaps a little bit of development in the Eastern Pacific. You can see 2 clear systems there forming, especially at the end of the run, and I think at least one of them will get to tropical storm status and perhaps even beyond that with that first one, which looks more impressive than the second one, at least at the end of that run where it goes out to at the moment. The ECMWF, you can see they're predicting a rather large system towards the end of that run, most likely tropical in nature, and that could be rather interesting to see, perhaps affecting the California Peninsula as well. We'll have to see what happens with that one. The GFS model as well, not really predicting too much, at least towards the very end where you can see perhaps a little bit of a system forming towards the south of Mexico. The NavGem model as well, you can see here, not too much in terms of development yet, not picking up on much at the moment. But as you can see on all these models, nothing going on in the Atlantic over the next few days. High pressure very much dominating at the moment there. So let's take a look at the overall predictor season scores then for June the 16th, 2013. No change in terms of positions or indeed points changes because no storms have formed. Ken remains in first place with 108, Typhoon Boba with 101 and Hurricane Melissa 20 with 99 points. That's the top 3 at the moment. As of June the 16th, you can submit your own storm totals at the Force 13 website /interactive.html, and then you can press the 2013 predictor storm button, and then you can submit all your totals. There's some fields where you can enter your predictions for all the Northern Hemisphere basins, and then obviously they'll be put on the leaderboard in due course, but it is manually maintained, so it might take a little while when I feel up to it. So let's take a look at June the 16th. On this day then, a lot of systems forming in the Eastern Pacific, can't go through them all. Tropical Depression 1 making landfall in South Carolina as well in 1979, but in the Eastern Pacific, Blas forming, Blanca dissipating, Aletta forming, Christina, Carlos, Depression 2 and Agatha dissipating, a few others forming there. And also on June the 16th, 2001, Depression Dana forming in the Western Pacific, Typhoon Dianu peaking as 180 mph Category 5 storm in 2004, and Hurricane Carlotta in 2012 peaking as a Category 2 storm in the Eastern Pacific, making landfall in Mexico with 7 fatalities and $108 million in damages. That was last year on June the 16th. And don't forget, you can track any storm that forms on the Force 13 website, force13.com/stormtracking.html will take you straight to the storm tracking pages, and then you can delve deeper and go basin by basin to see what storms are active, what information is available, and indeed what warning information is also relevant at the moment, and that's also very helpful for those in the path of the storm, the warning information of course, and of obviously the track map as well, the forecast points and whatnot, on the forecast map there on the website force13.com, and also available on the social channels YouTube, Facebook and Twitter by the usual means, Force 13. Just search in the search bar at the top of the page and you should find it fairly easily. And don't forget to show your support by liking, favoriting, subscribing, and whichever one else I've missed out, I've forgotten now, but you know the drill. Force 13, and thank you very much for all the support that I received. It's much appreciated, and the next bulletin will be tomorrow, Monday, the 17th of June 2013, and it'll probably be very interesting to see what happens between now and then. See you then.